So last week, I had a client ask me this question. Does cardio or weight training burn more calories? And it's a phenomenal question. It's one that I hear often, and I think it's one that we all have when we first start our fitness journey. However, I think the answer to this question is one, not as simple as we think it is, but more importantly, I think it's not the question we should be asking. And I'll explain why. So to just answer the question, does cardio or weight training burn more calories? The simple answer is depends. It's a terrible answer, but it's true. So cardio during exercise. So let's compare an hour of like steady state running versus an hour of weight training, for example, a good weight training workout. During that hour, you will be burning more calories during the steady state exercise of running than you will be during the weight training session. But the reason I say depends is because what is actually happening in the long term is you're gonna be burning more calories doing consistent resistance training. The reason for that is because as you build leaner muscle mass over time, your metabolism increases because you're gonna have more mass on you. It takes more energy for your body to sustain that mass. So you're gonna actually be burning more calories passively while you're just going through everyday life, even while you're sleeping. You'll be burning more calories because you have more muscle mass from the resistance training. So in the short term, while you're doing the cardiovascular exercise, you'll be burning more calories. By doing resistance training and building muscle mass, in the long term, you'll be burning more calories that way. The way I like to think about it is think about cardiovascular training like an hourly wage job where you are just going in and you get paid for the work that you do while you're doing the work, while resistance training is like investing in a stock. It doesn't make you a ton of money right off the bat, but the more that you do it, the more that you invest, the more it compounds, and the longer that you do it, the more you're gonna see that return. So to answer the question of which one burns more calories, there you have it. It's a yes and question, but if your goals are to burn calories, then I would say make resistance training the priority and then sprinkle in that steady state cardio. Now, here's the fun part, and this is the part why I really love this question, because I think it's a really fascinating look into how people view fitness, and more importantly, it really raises the question of why. Why do we do what we do? And what is truly the heart of this mission that we have for ourselves in our pursuit of our own health and wellness journey? And I don't think we should be asking ourselves, which burns more calories. We should be asking, like, why do we want to burn more calories? At the end of the day, it should be, what are my goals? Because I think when anyone asks, hey, I want to burn more calories, they're coming from a place of, I want to lose some weight, I want to be leaner, I want to be happier, and that's why they want to burn calories. But at the end of the day, all calories is energy. So by burning more energy, will that get us to our goals? And I don't think the answer is yes to that. Because if we were just to burn calories, that's all the goal was, to burn as much calories as possible, and I was just on top of, a stair climber for 12 hours, just getting after it, will I be getting closer to my goals, yes or no? And the answer is probably not. To really bring home this point, I always like to, when people say like, hey, I want to lose weight, I'm like, yeah, that's an awesome goal. I love it. But I always want to ask, why do you want to lose weight? What does losing weight mean to you? Like losing those 10 pounds, like what would that mean to you? What does that look like to you? Or who is that person who is down 10 pounds? And they say, well, they're someone who's lean, they're someone I like looking at in the mirror, there's someone who fits into their clothes, someone that is healthy, someone that's active. I'm like, that's awesome, that's beautiful. So it tells me what you want is not to lose those 10 pounds. What you want is to be healthier, leaner, happier. All right. So to get there doesn't mean we should just be burning more calories. To get there, what we're gonna need to do is a combination of both resistance training and cardiovascular training, right? Like you said, like it's gonna take both. But it's more than that, because it's like we're trying to, even if the second part of that question I do like to pose to people is like, okay, say you lose 10 pounds, but you don't look any different. But what happens if you are to be leaner, healthier, and happier, and you see that vision of yourself, that person you like to look in the mirror, you reach those goals, but you lose 0 pounds in that process? Would that be okay? And a lot of times people say, yeah, that would be fine. Because the reality is, it's not about those 10 pounds on the scale. The reality is we're trying to get to be that person, but we have this perception, and a lot of it is due to Unfortunately, the fitness industry as a whole over the course of the past several decades, where advertising and marketing is based around, hey, I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. I lost all this weight and all my dreams came true on the fitness side. Where the reality is, yes, weight loss is an aspect. It's a part of body composition. It's a part of the weight loss, the fitness journey, but it shouldn't be the only barometer of success. It shouldn't be the only barometer of health and wellness, because I could chop off my right leg right now and I would lose 50 pounds. It doesn't mean I'm healthier, it doesn't mean I'm happier. I'm just lighter on the scale now and I'm down a leg. So we need to be really clear on what exactly our goals are and what exactly are that we're striving to do when we're going into the gym, when we are doing cardio and when we are doing resistance training. It's, why am I doing this? So to give an example for these, like the spectrum of what this could look like. So right now I'm training for the Osaka Marathon in February, right? So for me, my priority is actually shifting more towards cardiovascular training rather than resistance training, because my goal isn't to burn more calories. My goal is to perform really well at the Osaka Marathon. So in order to do that, my aerobic base needs to be robust. I need to be focusing on my aerobic training. That is my priority. So I'm running a lot throughout the week, but I'm still getting 3 workouts a week of resistance training, because I want to make sure I'm maintaining my musculoskeletal strength, make sure my body is durable enough for the pounding on the pavement for all those miles. I want to make sure my hormones stay balanced. I also just enjoy weight training. It's the first thing I fell in love with in the fitness industry, and it's why I just enjoy I just love lifting weights. And so that is like the spectrum on like one side of it. But on the other side of it, you could be someone who's like, I do not like running. I do not like doing steady state. I think it's boring. I think it's just suffering. I'm not a fan of it. Like, that's totally fine. It could look like 4 days a week of resistance training, of nice, steady, periodized programming with you're sprinkling in just 3 45-minute walks every single week. And that's enough, right? Like, it just depends on where you are in life, what are your specific goals, and that spectrum shifts and changes depending on the season that you're in. I wanted to make this video because I think it's a really important conversation to be having in the fitness space. Too often we get focused on these symptoms of what exercise is doing for ourselves. We're overlooking the mental health aspect of it. We're overlooking the performance aspect of it. We're looking past the psychology of it all, right? Like, by being stronger, by being faster, by being leaner, the person that we're becoming through the process of exercise is so much more than just a number on the scale. It's so much more than just my Garmin watch told me I burned X amount of calories today. I was on the elliptical and it told me I burned 300 calories today. It shouldn't just be this numbers game. It's so much broader and so much bigger than that. And I think the fitness industry has done a horrible job at expressing that over the past few decades. And so for me, our job and what I'm really passionate about is making sure that people truly get to what they want and to help people understand what that is. And that takes time. It takes consistency. It takes empathy. But I think when we really sit down and start to have this honest conversation, which I hope this video can be the start of, is we need to really ask ourselves, what do we want out of this? And why am I doing cardio? Why am I doing resistance training? And my hope is that it's more than just burning some calories. I hope this video was informative. I hope it made you start to think a little bit about what you want for yourselves. I think that's super important. Just start to think about, what is your North Star? What is it that you're chasing? And find that path, find that balance of both cardio and strength training, and find where you land in that spectrum. If you do need help in that journey, in that process, I'd be more than happy to help. I would love to just hop on a call and chat with you about it. So feel free to message us, contact us. I would love to be able to work with you. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to be kind and train mean. Take care.